and welcome my jauntily macabre little pals to this little jaunt into a very absurd and creepy, weird, well, everything. I can't explain it, so let's, well, just jump into it. We're traveling to the Middle Ages, a time of knights, chivalry, and putting dearly decomposed popes on trial. Yeah, indeed. Let's delve into this, one of the most absurd events from our dark past, which is what we truly love to do here on this channel. This event was called the Cadaver Trial, and it's what it sounds like. Simply put, it was a pope who had an extreme vendetta against a previously already demised pope, and he decided that he had to exhume him and put that very rotten, unalived pope on trial so he could sue him. And yep, buckle up and let's jump straight into the madness and the scandal of power, revenge, and some grave digging.
Morbid history.
So, let's start in the beginning. Seems only right, you know. It's the late 900s AD, and Rome was in shambles, and the Vatican was a whole mess and a few halves. There was just corruption and a rivalry. Words. Either way, corruption and rivalry was the name of the game. Popes were switched up like new pairs of underwear, even though people back then did not, but like in modern times, okay? Let's not go into that gross hole, no. They just became appointed and then demised in very quick succession, either by gout or poisoning. Who knows? But the turnover was pretty bad. In this climate, our dear and poor Pope Formosus, as he is called, became Pope. He wasn't like a very well respected Pope. He had had a few scandals and such before he rose to power. So many people weren't that excited, but he was appointed and that was that. But his scandalous ways, I guess, continued on into his papacy? Yes. During his stint as Pope, he made some enemies, and one of them we will be talking about very, very soon. But either way, the rest of the Vatican didn't really approve of a few things that he pushed through as Pope. One of them, placing a German called Arnulf as Holy Roman Emperor. A fun choice. Well, also among other weird things. Either way, he just spent 5 years on the papacy, which was pretty long, I think, when they were like dropping basically like flies otherwise. And he moved on to the great beyond in the year of 896, after apparently making a huge mess of everything. And now, let's get into the really wacky side of this story. Now, Fast forward 9 months after Formosus' demise and burial. There's a new pope rocking in the town. Stephen the Sixth. Or well, Stephen the Slightly Unhinged. He had a very large bone to pick with his very life-cancelled rival or something, and not even such a silly little thing as demise could stop his hatred, his burning hatred. So, what did he do about that? Did he try to tarnish Formosus' legacy with a few well-shot words in a passionate sermon, mayhaps? No! Instead, he ordered Pope Formosus, decaying and all, to be exhumed and dressed in his finest papal robes and propped up on a nice chair and put on trial for crimes against the church, papacy, and all that. So now Stephen had propped up Formosus in his papal garbs in court like a stinky, sluggish dummy. Wonderful. And with that out of the way, Stephen started to scream, point with his whole hand at Formosus, accusing him, the stone-cold cadaver, of many things. Of course, a problem here is that someone who has, well, you know, cancelled their life subscription 9 months ago already, they can't really say much and therefore can't really defend themselves against anything. But Stephen, or someone else very smart, thought out a grand idea. A poor deacon they demanded him to sit behind the husk of that rotting Formosus and answer for him. He got to be the voice of Formosus and act in his defense, but we can guess like that defense wasn't very good because no one really wanted to be on Formosus' side. So every time Stephen would start shouting and accusing Formosus and the poor deacon behind had to answer, he would say things like, "Because I was evil, that's why I did those deeds. I was a bad man. Woo." We can all guess that this parody of a trial ended with Pope Formosus being sentenced. He was guilty as sin for everyone, especially our unhinged Pope Stephen. So, what would they do now? Because they couldn't really do much. They just stripped him of his pretty gown, his papal gowns, and they posthumously revoked his papacy, and everything that he had decided as Pope was now null and void. And as an extra insult, Stephen chopped off the 3 fingers that Pope Formosus would have used to give blessings. And then, as a final insult, he threw the body of Formosus into the Tiber River. He really hated that guy. A lot. To put it lightly, this whole spectacle did not sit well with the normal people of Rome. yeeting a pope into a river, that's where many people drew a line. And only a year later, Pope Stephen was imprisoned, and there he was stolen of his heir. A pretty common way for a pope to go, so nothing weird. And our poor Formosus actually got some redemption in the end. They fished him up out of the Tiber River. That must have been a nice sight, but he was at least reinstated again posthumously and given a burial with full honors. Good for him. So that was today's Mortem Hijinks, where we learned that even demise can't keep you from bureaucratic vengeance. Till next time, keep your skeletons in your closet where they belong. Please. Also, giant thanks to all my Patreon and my YouTube members. I post exclusive videos like Victorian crime, folklore, mythology, a few times a month, only for you. And it really helps with everything, like, yeah, I'm a little hermit on sick leave, I don't have a lot of money, so it really helps so that I can like subscribe to my editing software and everything else that I need. Thank you so much, you're my heroes. There's also, of course, a way if you want to tip, you can go and do a little super thanks. That would also be awesome. And yeah, I guess that's everything for now. Thanks for watching. Stay hydrated, stay amazing, most of all, stay morbid. Mwah. See you soon.